audio taping. I beg your pardon?
It's a private conversation.
I'm going to step backwards. Is there any significance to your shirt? Is it connected to tonight in some way? This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by nhliberty.org.
I'll follow with a disability.
I'm defending myself from accusations that aren't true.
It doesn't relate to the charges of the legislative department. I really disagree with the attorney about it, but you can say that what has been levied into the documents is false. You're getting into
I went to the
Let me address this. First of all, I don't know how an objection of that American, how that's relevant here. One of the allegations made by the chief, both in writing and orally, was that there were threats made against this officer by Officer Jardis. And Officer Jardis is just telling everybody what really happened. And I think he's allowed to do that. Because it's a matter of credibility, and I'll address later when I talk that it's unfortunate that Officer Fluid isn't here, even though I requested he be here to be questioned. You know, what we have to respond to, what the officer told Wallace and told the chief is now in writing, and they have to decide who to believe, to say what actually is true regarding the incident that is part of his discipline. That's what he's raising is not an issue that's part of his discipline.
Clear this courtroom. Everybody. I will clear this courtroom.
If
there's another outburst, she'll clear it.
What you're saying they certainly should, because there's not a shred of evidence in my personnel file or that anyone.
All right, now about an hour and a half into the meeting, they're taking a recess to try and ask some private questions. The audience is showing its size now. More and more people came in. Some citizens open carrying here.
In the past, which by their own, I've read some of those letters, by their own policies, they're only good for 2 years. They're bringing stuff up from 2003.
I'm audio taping. I beg your pardon?
It's a private conversation.
I'm going to step backwards. Is there any significance to your shirt? Is it connected to tonight in some way?
No, I have to wear a shirt.
I mean, what's the symbol on your shirt? The no rights or the no rats symbol? Is that connected to what's going on tonight in some way?
There's nothing to do with it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
They didn't say anything about that.
What are you so upset about, Becky?
The other officer, who he didn't want exposed, spoke up and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna say that the Disability Act was not allowed to be talked about, you know, to help Bradley or not help Bradley, to hurt Bradley by saying, you know, you can't discuss it." But they allowed that to go through. Of course, they were the ones that brought the whole thing up. So when I pointed that out to them, they immediately threatened to throw us all out because, you know, we're not allowed to have an opinion here. But that officer was allowed to have an opinion just because he's an officer and he was in the back.
But I like the fact that they're saying, oh, you can't be trusted with a firearm. One of the things
And Rick, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, I'd just say all this stuff would go away really quick if we would just get all of our representatives and everybody in government to just simply follow the rule book.
Libertarian politics, and my involvement with drug policy reform pisses people off. I understand that, people in this profession. And I've told my police chief, I've told my lieutenant, and I've told other officers that I'm sorry.
To uphold the suspension that was placed on him.
The 6-day suspension in August without pay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Rainey. Any other questions or comments before we vote on this part of it? If not, all those in favor of upholding the suspension say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, review what we read tonight, review of some of the evidence presented, specifically Exhibit A, signed by 6 officers. Paragraph number 4, that Officer Jardis should be, at the very least, subject to an independent psychological examination. You know what? I'm going to agree with them, so I'm going to make the motion rather terminate him. Yeah, we have an independent psychological evaluation done to see if he's
We have a motion. Is there a second?
And the motion is?
For this? Go ahead.
that Officer Jardis have an independent psychological examination to ensure that he's fit to return to duty.
Are you seconding it then?
I'll second that.
Okay. Questions or comments?
I would just like to, I want to qualify this. I think it's very unfortunate that this is going to stop, and I do hold the administrators accountable. First of all, if there is a Hey Kid Club, get rid of it. And administrators need to get at arm's length against the board members. Because who's next? If that's the case, if there's a Hey Kid Club, and the members of the Hey Kid Club don't like what's going on, who's next?
We have a motion and we have a second. Thank you. Have a good night.
And they just voted to give Jardis a psychological evaluation, but not fire him. They've upheld the suspension, as you probably saw from the last clip.
State House, but you know how I'm always saying that if you do this at the New Hampshire State House, you're gonna hit one of the New Hampshire liberty activists. Well, let's just try it and see what happens.
Hey, what are you doing?
See, it works. See, if you do this at the New Hampshire State House, you will hit a member of the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance. Mr. Dave Ridley signing off for RidleyReport.com, sponsored by NHLiberty. You guys can say it.
NHLiberty.org.
No, that's not how I say it. NHLiberty.org.
ORG.
All right. Thanks,
Not
guys.
that anymore, dog.
NHLiberty.org.